This is the Diagonal Stripes Crochet Stitch. This beautiful stitch uses a combination of front and back post double crochets, and the fabric is reversible and really mimics the knit diagonal stitch as well. To get started, chain a multiple of 6 plus 3. I started with 21 here. Starting in the second chain from hook, work a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 3 loops. And then you're just going to work a half double crochet into each chain all the way across. And that is row 1, just half double crochet across. When you reach the end of the row, chain 1 and turn. So for row 2, we're going to work a half double crochet into the first stitch. It's going to be consistent across the pattern in all the rows. We're starting with a half double crochet. And then for the next stitch, we're going to work a front post double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook from front to back, and then going around the post of that half double crochet in the row below, poke your hook from the back to the front. So that post should be in the front of your hook, and then yarn over and pull through that post, and then like a double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. And that's your front post double crochet. We're going to work 2 more of them. So around the next stitch, yarn over, into your hook from front to back, and then from back to front, so that you have that post in the front of your hook. Yarn over, pull through the post, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through those last 2 loops. And then 1 more front post double crochet around the next stitch. So now we have 3 front post double crochets. Now we're going to work 3 back post double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook from back to front this time, and then from front to back, so that post of the half double crochet in the row below is in the back of your hook. Yarn over, pull through that post, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through those last 2 loops. So that's 1 back post double crochet. We're going to do 2 more. So yarn over, insert your hook from back to front, and then around the post of your stitch in the row below, from front to back, yarn over, pull through that post, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. Now we're going to work 1 more back post double crochet, so inserting your hook from back to front and then front to back, so that your post is in the back. Work a double crochet around it. For the rest of the row, you're alternating 3 front post double crochets with 3 back post double crochets. So just alternate 3 front and then 3 back all the way across. When you reach the end of the row, you should be ending with 3 back post double crochet, and then you'll have 1 stitch remaining, and you're going to half double crochet into that last remaining stitch. So this is what your row should be looking like at the end of row 2. Chain 1 and turn. Moving on to row 3, we're going to start our row with a half double crochet into the first stitch. And then for row 3, we're going to work 2 front post double crochets into the next 2 stitches. So around your next stitch, work a front post double crochet. And the reason why we're not doing 3 to start is that's what staggers your stitches and creates the diagonal effect. So another front post double crochet around the next stitch. So now you have 2 front post double crochets. Now we're going to move on to alternating our 3 back post double crochets and 3 front post double crochets. So starting here in this next stitch, work a back post double crochet. So that's 1 back post double crochet. We need 2 more. So around the next stitch, we're going to work a back post double crochet. And 1 more around the next stitch for a total of 3 back post double crochet. And now you'll move on to 3 front post double crochets. So starting in the next stitch, work a front post double crochet, and in the next stitch, another front post double crochet, And that'll bring us to 2 front post double crochets, so we need one more in the next stitch. And you'll just alternate 3 front and 3 back all the way across. Your row should end with 3 back post double crochets with 1 post remaining, like this, and you're going to work a front post double crochet around that last remaining post. So there's one more stitch after this, but there's one more post from those previous back post double crochets in the row below. And in that last stitch, you're working a half double crochet. We always start our rows with a half double crochet and end our rows with a half double crochet. Chain 1 and turn. So on to row 4, we are starting with a half double crochet as always. And our next stitch is going to be a back post double crochet. We're going to start row 4 with 2 back post double crochets. So there's 1 back post double crochet. We're going to work one more. So this pattern is really consistent with working the 3 front, 3 back in the middle, but what will differ is how you start the rows. So this row starts with 2 back post double crochets. Now we're on to our steady middle, where we will work 3 front and then 3 back post double crochets all the way across. So there's 1 front post double crochet, in the next stitch another front post double crochet, and in the next stitch another front post double crochet. So that's 3 front post double crochets. Now onto our 3 back. So there's 1 back post double crochet, another back post double crochet, and one more back post double crochet. So that brings us to 3 back post double crochet. Then you'll move on to your 3 front post double crochet and alternate those 3 front and 3 back all the way across the row. Your row should end with 3 front post double crochets and 1 post remaining and 1 more stitch. And for that last post, you're going to work a back post double crochet around it. So you should notice this row is a lot like row 3, except for we start and end with back post double crochets instead of front post. And in your last stitch, you're working a half double crochet. So for row 3, we started with 2 front post double crochets and ended with 1 front post double crochet. For row 4, we started with 2 back post double crochets and ended with 1 back post double crochets. Chain 1 and turn and on to row 5. So our first stitch is a half double crochet. So this row is really easy. We're skipping the staggering and just moving on to 3 back post double crochets. So this row is going to start with 3 back post double crochets, and then you will just alternate your 3 back post double crochets with 3 front all the way across. So there's 2 back post double crochets, 3 back post double crochets. So now we're moving on to our front post double crochets. So there's 1 front post double crochet, 2 front post double crochets, and 3 front post double crochet. So now we'll move back on to our 3 back post double crochets. When you reach the end of this row, you should be ending with 3 front post double crochet, and you'll just have that one last stitch remaining, which will be where you work your half double crochet. This is what it should be looking like. Chain 1 and turn. So our first stitch of row 6 is a half double crochet, as always. And row 6 starts with 1 front post double crochet. So work a front post double crochet after your half double crochet. And now we'll move on to the meat of the pattern, where we will alternate our 3 back post double crochets with our 3 front post double crochets all the way across. So there's 2 back post double crochets, 1 more. That's 3 back post double crochets. So now we're moving on to our front post double crochets. There's 1. There's 2 front post double crochets and 3 front post double crochets. So onto our back again. So just alternating the 3 front and the 3 back double crochets all the way across the row. At the end of the row, you will have worked 3 back post double crochets and have 2 posts remaining. And you're going to work front post double crochets around these last 2 remaining posts. So there's 1 front post double crochet. Here's another front post double crochet. And then of course you have your last stitch remaining, and that's where we're going to work our final half double crochet. This is what it should be looking like at the end of row 6. Chain 1 and turn. So our beginning of row 7 is of course a half double crochet, and then we're going to move on to 1 back post double crochet. Only 1. And then you'll start repeating your 3 front and your 3 back all the way across. So here's 1 front post double crochet, 2 front post double crochets, 3 front post double crochets, and then moving on to 3 back post double crochets. There's 1 back post double crochet, 2 back post double crochets, and 3 back post double crochets. So just alternating 3 front and 3 back all the way across. At the end, you should have 2 posts remaining, and we are working our back post double crochets around these last 2 posts. So you'll end the row with 3 front post double crochets and still have 2 posts and 1 stitch remaining. We're working back post double crochets around these last 2 posts. And then of course your final stitch is a half double crochet. And that is the end of row 7 and the end of your pattern repeat. So this is what it's looking like. You can tell that I used weight 4 yarn here, and it looks very different from the weight 3 example that I showed you in the beginning. Chain 1 and turn, and you can go back to row 2. You can just repeat rows 2 through 7 until your project reaches your desired length. So on the swatch I just worked up with you, I used weight 4 yarn, and then this purple yarn is weight 3, and you can tell it looks very different. I really like the look of the weight 3 yarn with this stitch, but feel free to play around with different yarn weights and textures and projects and see what you want to use this stitch for and with what yarn. Let me know in the comments what you plan to make with the diagonal crochet stitch. I love to hear about your ideas and what you guys are making. If you enjoy learning crochet stitches like this, you should check out my pattern for the In My Feelings throw. This is a crochet sampler pattern, so within the pattern for the throw, it contains 20 different stitch patterns, and the idea is to crochet a square, which is a stitch pattern, for every feeling that you have throughout, say, a year, so you can learn some new crochet stitches and do some self-reflection at the same time. And just for you, I'll throw in the discount code FEELINGS30, so you can get 30% off this pattern in my Etsy shop, and the shop name is Modern Made Shop. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram for bite-sized crochet and knitting content. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.